I don't know if this will work.
I don't know. What's up, sweet people? Hello and welcome back to my channel, or if it is your first time here, welcome especially. My name's Sally and I am so glad that you've stopped by. It has been a minute since I've done a video where I've actually sat down and talked to the camera, and I forgot how hard it is. It's like no matter how many times I do it, my brain just gets freaked out and it doesn't work right. So this is take 6. We're hoping it's gonna work out. We're just gonna roll with it. But I am filming, as you can tell by the title of today's video, a little day in the life. For context, I am a metabolic health nutritionist. If you want my specific credentials, I'm a certified nutritional therapy practitioner who specializes in women's metabolic, hormone, and digestive health, 3 things that are really closely linked together. I run my own private practice. It's called Riza Nutrition. And so what you're gonna get today is kind of a combination of 2 things. Number 1, how I set my life up, or do my best to set my life up to promote overall health, well-being, presence, and just growth. And then number 2 is going to be a little bit of behind the scenes of running my own business, the work that I'm doing, with clients on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, I can't show you my client calls or any of that, but I want to provide context to a little bit of that. So let me preface by saying that every day of the week is going to be a little bit different, and that's something that I honestly feel very grateful for in terms of working for myself, is that there is variety in my days and in my weeks, and that I have so much flexibility in how I get to structure it. But I have set up pretty good structure for the week as a whole and how I go through it, because otherwise, if I don't have that and I don't know on this day I'm gonna focus on this thing, at least to some extent, it's just mentally very chaotic. So anyways, I'm filming this on a Wednesday, which is generally the day on which I film, on which I'm able to film. We'll just say this is a day in the life of a Wednesday. We'll go with that. But in terms of how I structure my weeks as a whole, I tend to front load on Monday and Tuesday the tasks that are a little bit more grunt work, so to say, the ones that I feel will loom over me, or that I need to really get into deep focus, or just want to get off my plate. For me, that's usually going to be editing. So editing my YouTube video for the week, and then sometimes it's editing reels. I try to do that on Wednesday and Friday, but to be honest, I often don't get it done on Friday, and so then I do it on Monday and Wednesday, and that's okay. but I edit those Reel shorts and the YouTube videos, and then I'm preparing for the client work that I have throughout the week. So I'm going through paperwork, making notes, preparing protocols for any of the meetings that I have, especially earlier on in the week. And then I'll start taking clients usually on Tuesdays, and it picks up over the course of the week. It's just kind of how I have it structured right now, and it's working really well for me. So yesterday I did have a client call, and then today I have 2 client calls. What we're going to be starting out by doing is sitting down and just going over notes for the first one. This first one, for context, is a check-in. I've already been working with this client for a while, and we're at the point where like every other week, essentially, we are just checking in, making adjustments to the protocol as need be, for both like accountability and moving forwards, layering things on. So I'm going to be preparing for that. And then in between my 2 calls, I will try to get my reels done for the remainder of the week. And then there's also going to be some other fun stuff. I think I need to work in the yard a little bit. Specifically, I have some plants I want to repot, and then I was getting so stressed out. This is probably silly, but like the weeds are growing so fast. Just like spring has sprung here, and my husband mowed the yard like 4 days ago, and all of a sudden these weeds are just like popping up. So he's on a mission to try and get our lawn under control. I probably shouldn't be this bothered by it, but I'm just like, I want it to look good. Anyway, I want to go pull some weeds out, and then we have our garden bed that has been sitting for a while, and some weeds are popping up in there as well. We haven't even put our plants in because it's still too cold, but I need to go like work in that, make sure it's ready to go. Anyways, I don't know what all of that I will get to, but that'll probably be an afternoon project once I have finished with my calls. So let's go to the office and get to work. My office space is still very much in the works, but I have to show you it is currently doubling as my little nursery for my plants. Let's see, we have here a combination of, this is gonna be a problem if I can't tell them apart, but I think I can. We have acorn squash and cucumber. You can tell like the acorn squash has like bumpier leaves and it's a little bit darker green. And then we have some tomatoes here. This is an heirloom variety that I'm super excited to try. These definitely need some water, so I'll move them out in a little bit. And then over here, some cucumbers and tomatoes that didn't make the transplant, but we have basil. One of these is Italian, one of them is Thai. We have bell peppers. Not many of these grew, but I think 4 plants hopefully can get to maturity. At least 3 I'm hoping for. And then we have more peppers. We thought it would be fun to grow some hot peppers. Pardon my knee. My husband loves spicy things, so we're trying jalapenos. These are ghost peppers, and then this is a purple cayenne variety. And then we have some French green beans back here. They're little baby green beans already. My friend Juliana gave me these plants because she had some extra, so they're just waiting to go outside, but we might transplant some of them later. First thing I like to do when I am in the office for the day is grab my notebook. This is my one all-purpose notebook. I keep in it my agenda. I use it for planning, which I guess kind of goes hand in hand with my agenda, my to-do list. But also I keep client notes in here, just random thoughts. Anything related to work is in this notebook. I personally find that this works a lot better than having like a separate planner and notebook, because in my brain a lot of it's really continuous, and I've just found that it works better to have an outlet where I can write things free form and not be like forcing myself to like stick to the structure of a planner and then a certain structure of a notebook. I'm like a very structured and organized person naturally, so like the weird thing is if I have a planner where there's like a certain structure that I have to keep to, I don't like messing it up, if that makes sense. Can anybody relate? But it's like if I have a freeform notebook, I feel like I have the space to just write and like have the creative flow as I need to have the creative flow. But first thing I do when I come into the office is open this up, turn it to the page of my to-do list for the day. And as we already discussed, the first thing on my to-do list today is to review notes for my first client call. My call is about 45 minutes from now, and I don't have too much that I need to do before that, but I want to make sure that I have a few resources available and that I have a list of questions really well organized so that the call can flow nicely just in terms of the things that we need to discuss. But the one other thing I wanted to talk about before I hop into work for the day is just my mornings and kind of how I structure my mornings to promote overall well-being, metabolic health not being something, like I think about it more than the average person because it's my job, right? But I think sometimes people think like, oh, I'm always thinking about how to take care of my metabolism throughout the day. Like, no, to be honest, I'm living my life. But I have structured my life in such a way that it is to the best of my ability, that being a continuous pursuit, promoting metabolic health, which is that foundational level of health, such that my well-being can flow from that place. So anyways, I wake up usually between 6 and 7. I allow myself a little bit of flexibility there, but I do try to wake up about when the sun is rising. Daylight savings time really threw me off. It has been so hard to adjust to that and get back on a good schedule, but we're getting there. And then I drink a big glass of water. After water, I just start making my breakfast. At some point in the morning, I like to get outside, ideally as close to sunrise as possible, because the light at sunrise is signaling to your brain, which is then signaling to your body, hey, it's time to wake up, it's time to produce certain hormones. And that morning sunlight is really, really important. But it happens in different orders, and today, as you saw from that video, I got out just a little bit later. After breakfast, I went on a little walk. So I eat my breakfast, I'll drink my coffee, do my morning reading, read the Bible, usually read a bit of another book, and then I head outside either for a run, a bike ride, or a walk, depending on the day. I am going to be sharing more about cardio in a way that is responsible and metabolically supportive. I know I've been alluding to that, but I'm working on a project behind the scenes right now, and I don't want to get into it until that project has kind of come together. So just bear with me on that. But do that. If I need to shower because I've gone on a run, I'll shower, I get dressed, and then it's time to start the workday. So here we are. I'm gonna review those notes and get cruising through it. I'm excited.
Always thinking about you. Always thinking about you. Always thinking about you. Always thinking about you. You're loving me, don't think it through. I don't always have you, I don't always want to. You've got your hands on me and you never let it go. I've been thinking maybe we ought to leave room for me to be the one that you would think about the most. Think about.
Client call is done. It went very well, but I'm starving now, so I'm gonna eat some lunch. Y'all saw me make my electrolytes and creatine before I hopped on that call. I also, as you saw, fed my sourdough starter because I had a few minutes after I finished reviewing and preparing. But in here was about 2 ounces of orange juice. I'm not super fancy, guys. Usually I do use orange juice from a bottle, but I was out, so I juiced an orange. About 8 ounces of water, and then it has Celtic sea salt, potassium, and creatine. Creatine increases intramuscular hydration, and it can therefore benefit your exercise performance. And I have noticed it actually improving my endurance, especially with my lifts at the gym and my strength. So that's cool. It also has a ton of cognitive benefits. Those are my electrolytes. I'll take the last sip here in a minute, and then for lunch, it's leftovers per usual. We have leftovers for lunch like every single day. Ground beef, grass-fed, grass-finished, of course, and then we have some roasted potatoes, some bell pepper, and I'm gonna put some of this Primal Kitchen buffalo sauce on it. Let us eat. I finished up lunch and had a little bit of downtime, and now I have a few minutes to spare, so I'm gonna walk down the street. We live nearby a nursery, and I need to pick up some pots to transplant my little seedlings into. So Samuel and I are gonna walk down. He's really good about like going on walks after lunch and after meals and like breaking up his work day to get some sunshine and refresh, and it's just good for you. I'm trying to be better about it, but we're gonna do that today, and then we'll come home, finish up with the reels that we need to make for the rest of the week with that last client call, and that'll pretty much be a wrap on the work day. Samuel is shaking up his electrolytes in the background, so pardon the noise. Probably my favorite time of the day. It is afternoon coffee time. This is my little tradition. I try to wait until I'm done with work. Work just wrapped up. Make myself a little afternoon coffee. Been doing more iced lattes in the afternoon now that it is warmer outside. And oftentimes I'll have a little snack or maybe a little treat. And most days it is my pre-workout kind of snack situation. We usually head to the gym between like 4 and 4:30. It depends, but somewhere in there is when we try to go to the gym 4 days of the week. That said, it is currently Wednesday, as I think I told you earlier, and Wednesday is our full rest day. So looks a little bit different today. I'm gonna be using this time, first of all, I'm just gonna chill out a little bit, and then second of all, I'm going to repot the little seedlings that I showed you earlier, and maybe I will get to preparing the garden bed and getting some of the weeds out of it. And I probably need to like hoe it again, realistically, given how chaotic it is. I'm used to dandelions from North Carolina. Like I feel like, also this is not a cute fridge, we're just gonna on the inside, let's close it. I'm used to dandelions. They grow like nobody's business in the yards back here. And Samuel mowed, I think I already said this, he mowed like 4 days ago. Maybe it was a week ago at this point. It's probably a week ago because it was right before we left for Zion. By the way, this is just grass-fed raw milk. And already we have so many dandelions. To be clear, he didn't like mean to mow over the dandelions. We pulled up the dandelions and then he mowed, but they're all over again. And there are these like white flowers and these purple flowers, and it looks like a full-on prairie in the backyard, which is cool, but also not exactly what we're going for. So anyway, that's the struggle right now. Point being, this afternoon, I'm going to spend some time in the backyard working on a few parts of it, and then probably together over the weekend, we will give the grass a little bit of extra TLC. But that's, yeah, I'll show you guys that, but it's pretty much gonna be it for today. We head out for our date night. Sometimes we do it at home, sometimes we do it out of the house, but tonight we're gonna go out of the house for our little date night on Wednesdays, and I'm not gonna film that, but I think that as a whole, this was a pretty good representation of a day in the life. Again, with that kind of disclaimer that it looks a little bit different each and every day. So I hope you've enjoyed. Please don't forget to, please don't forget to subscribe and come along with me as I make my coffee and work outside in the beautiful sunshine for a little bit.